lot of people talk about the psychology when it comes to building wealth, and how you view yourself. Certain people self-sabotage, X, Y, and Z. Certain people sort of stick or stuck at a particular amount. So, no matter what they do, they're stuck at that amount. What are the sort of activities or things that that person can do to break out of those hindering?
It means being stuck in a rut.
Yeah, stuck in a rut or
Yes,
stuck there.
I mean, there
Yeah.
are loads of things that hinder. I
And how do
mean,
you overcome those?
and we're not psychologists really,
Yeah.
so first of all they've got to recognize it.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the number one thing. Recognizing your own limitations or your own addictions or your own areas of self-sabotage is very important. And if you can't recognize that, then humble yourself and ask close people to give an evaluation of you. Yeah. And if the people will just say, no, Al, but you're great, you've started a business, you're amazing, and you need to somehow make them feel comfortable to tell you and share what they think some of your weaknesses are, or else they're not going to. I mean, why create a conflict when they're happily doing some stuff, and then you suddenly ask them, what are my weaknesses? Yeah, that it's hard for them to tell you because they don't want to fall out. And if they say, well, Al, I don't want to use you because then you take things really personally. So if I said to someone, well, you've got anger issues, and you get angry for no reason at all, and they say, no, but there's a reason why, then they're already getting defensive. Yeah, they just must say thank you for the feedback, and then you need to do. And if they want to build on it, they could say, okay, thank you for helping me recognize these. What do you think I can do to help minimize it? Now, they're not therapists, your friends and so on, but they might give you some of their thoughts, which you can build on. You can go to Google, you can go to the AI and ask them, how can I reduce my anger? What kind of anger management processes are there out there? How much would an anger management coach cost? Any of these different ways to help you. There's a lovely series by, you mentioned Brian Tracy earlier, called The Psychology of Winning, right? So if we can remove finance from this podcast for a second, but having those components from The Psychology of Winning, then finance is just another game. And we're talking about the game of life. We're not talking about, which is probably more important than finance. So the psychology of winning gives you all the standard attitudes that you need to develop that we talk about here. Perseverance, consistency, focus, the ability to get up in the face of setbacks, surrounding yourself with people who are good people, and not just good, but they're also insightful.
Was there ever a point in which you felt or you believed that you wouldn't get to where you got to regarding your wealth or becoming financially free?
No, there was never, ever that I wouldn't get there. And today I have a different belief, and it's like it's impossible for me not to be that person. It just is.
Do you think that was a big component on why you got to where you got to?
No, I think that the big component was probably that I didn't have anything. I had nothing. And I just have a belief, and maybe this comes from my gaming days, that I can get better and better and better. So like I used to get better and better at chess and bridge and Scrabble. So for me, business, finance, social magnetism is just a big game, really. A personal game, that I play with myself to get better and better and better.
Reason why I asked that, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that they want a certain type of finance, or they want to be financially free, but they may not truly believe it. And a reason why I say, like, okay, was that a component of yours, or why you was able to achieve what you was able to achieve? That perseverance, like, you always wanted to find a way. Like, you
Yeah, I
didn't.
always find a way.
Yeah, and that is a big component for all the people that I've known that have, quote unquote, reached financial freedom, even including myself to a certain degree. It's that there's a way. There must be a way.
There must be a
Yeah,
way, you know?
yeah,
Like, I don't care if I'm the only person who looks like me and has, who's covered in eczema or whatever it is, who's got arthritis. I'm going to find a way.
mm,
And the doctors say, no, that's impossible. I don't care.
mm,
I will find a way. Other people can do it somehow, no matter where they've started. So why not? Why not you?
mm.
Yeah. And why not, like, live a life where you're enjoying your life, finding new ways to do things? Because we've covered this before. That journey itself will just build you up.
100%.
No, you may not even know that you've arrived because you're just enjoying the journey of finding a way.
100%.
What about you? Did you know?
I think for me, it's a similar thing where it's just like there's always a way. Like, in everything that I've achieved in my life, I've always had to find a way, and I never just took, the status quo as being the gospel.
So what
as
was the
such.
status quo for you? What was the
Status
gospel?
quo? You're from a certain neighborhood. You're not gonna get really anywhere. You're not really gonna progress that much. You know, the likelihood is that you're probably gonna live that type of lifestyle or get involved in certain things that you shouldn't get involved in. Like, these are all the things that are thrown out there when you're young. I can remember when I was at the school that I was went to, that one of the teachers said, you know, most of the kids that's in this class ain't gonna get anywhere. Like, that's what he threw out there,
There you
you
go.
know. And that, I feel,
Did that motivate you, or did that make you
100%,
think?
100%, it made me.
Why didn't it motivate the other kids?
That's a good question, but it comes back to that belief thing, right? There's certain people that.
So where did you get that belief that you would find a way?
I guess, like, part of it probably from my mum, I guess, to a certain degree.
And
like,
what did your
maybe
mum used to tell you?
that you could be anything. You could, work hard is the best way to approach life. Also from, my uncle is a big part, like my father figure, someone that I saw like a father. Having those type of people around sort of makes you feel like, okay, it's possible. Because that's what they see and what they see in me.
Yeah, so that
So that sort
you were
of encouraged
lucky.
you.
You're one of the lucky ones to
I
have
guess,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, because I would say I didn't really have that. Anyone who had a belief in me. I mean, I had suffered really badly from eczema.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. I had zero social skills and so on. So, what did you do when a door was shut in your face? What did you think?
I went through a array of different things, but I never believed it was just. I try to not try to focus on the lower hanging fruit, I call it, or the common denominator, which is for most people of color, especially black people, there is a thing where, okay, if a door's shut in your face, is it because of my race? which it could have been.
Could have been.
It could have been.
Yeah.
However, I don't try to focus on that.
What do you focus on if the door's shut in your face and you want to get somewhere, but here's a door, you want to get through that door? What do you
I
do?
need to figure out a way. And maybe I haven't done something right here. Like there's moments to learn here. What can I learn? How could I get to where I need to get to? And maybe the door was shut in my face because I went to the wrong door. Simple as that. You know, so that's always been my.
So you would try another door, is your it sounds
try
like
another door, or try to figure out, what went wrong that the door was shut in my face. And try to figure out like how to improve myself in order for that door not to be shut in my face.
This is a really important concept that we're discussing, by the way.
Yeah.
If a door is shut in your face, because if you really want to win in life, which is what we're talking about, and your finance, then doors, depending on your background, may be shut in your face and slammed in front of you, and wherever you go, it'll be shut. So we know, for example, the Beatles, very famous pop group, so many doors were shut in their faces. We know with the Muppets, with Jim Henson, so many doors were shut in his face. No, it'll never work. So many people that he went to with his concept. But they all, like you, really, went and finally found a door that would open for you. And I love that, and learn about. So some of the things I've used in my life is, if I can't open this door, I'll try and go around the door.
Can you provide insights into your mindset and approach when facing financial setbacks or obstacles?
Yes. If I lose money, I go and cry. I think we've talked about this. I go and hide in my duvet and think, oh my goodness, I should have seen it coming.
And then what do you do?
And then eventually, whether that's a day, a week, a month, 3 months, I pick myself up. And it's business as usual. I wish I could give you some more, Obviously, I've learned from how I lost money and so on. And okay, let me do more due diligence next time. Before I engage with them. And I've got really crazy things that don't make any sense to people, including myself now, that rules that I follow. One of the rules, actually, that we employ as a team at Propportunities is that if someone wants to do a joint venture with us, then if it's a big one, we're not likely to do it. But if it's a small one, which doesn't cost us much money, then we'll do that just to see how the joint venture works out. So we'll do something small with them, and if it works out, then we'll progress to bigger and bigger things. That's something that you can do to limit your exposure to damage.
Going into that, I think I guess that's risk, right?
That's risk management.
And risk management. What role did calculated risk taking play in your journey to becoming rich?
So there's a huge amount where I'm thinking about risk management, and one of the ways that I hedged my risk was getting involved in multiple passive income stream ventures. And then the greater the finance, the bigger the investment. So, for example, property. The more finance I had, the more I could get into play the game of property.
Can you discuss the importance of timing and seizing opportunities in wealth creation?
Timing in terms of opportunities. Timing is important, and it's unimportant, because you're going to get offered opportunities all the time. So if you have the right knowledge, then you can execute quickly. But if you don't, but you can learn very quickly, you can still execute very quickly. So timing is important and it's also unimportant. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
If you have a character that is very anxious and you think you're going to crash and burn, then you need to take stock and think, what timing would be great for you?
I think finding out what is that thing that gets you up in the morning, that really moves you is important as well. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Can you give me an example of
No, I'm just teasing you.
Yeah.
Of course I agree with you. The thing, if you can find things that get you up in the morning, this is super important. Yeah. And if you don't have things that get you up in the morning, then start looking for one. Yeah, start finding things that keep you awake at night, and because this is so much fun and you're adding value to people, and you're making some money at the same time. If you're not financially free, if you're financially free, then you don't necessarily need to make money out of it. I think we've touched upon ikigai.
We did, but just go into it a little bit more.
Well, that's that Japanese concept of having a skill that adds value to the world that you can make money from. Yeah. So all those three, because some people have skills that they either doesn't add value to people or they cannot make money from. Yeah, because they don't have that wisdom and they haven't, built up that knowledge of how to make money from that skill yet. And by the way, if you have a skill and you don't know how to make money from it, remember we've got AI today. So just ask AI. Hey, AI, I can make things out of wood. How do I make money out of it? I'm going to give you lots of ideas.
Yeah.
And then have a go.
Yeah.
Have a go at a low cost way. Maybe build something for a friend, which will be the cheapest thing you ever did, but it'll give you experience.
Yeah.
You're almost being like an intern.
Yeah. And like with that, if you are someone that does carpentry and something of that nature, you literally can show your journey, and people would love to see that, in a sense of social media, and then you could, people will start maybe asking, okay, could you buy, create some custom pieces for me, or can I buy the pieces, or whatever it may be.
Well, let's be even crazier.
Yeah.
Maybe you build furniture out of footballs, and you make a chair out of a football. See if people would you could draw it for them and see if someone will pay you to do it. And so I'm trying to be more creative now, rather than going to, because we're kind of people listening to this now. Well, everybody can make money if they've got that skill at carpentry out of it. So let's think of something crazier, like making a nice chair out of, footballs. And think about the maintenance and stuff like that. How would you maintain it? Because the footballs need to be pumped up every so often, yeah?
Well, depending on how you do it. If it's just from the material, it's leather.
Yeah.
So you could literally just string it together and just get the outside. But if it's balls that have been filled up with air, that's a bit more difficult.
See, you're already thinking about this.
Yeah. Well, it's just one of those things there. But yeah, to conclude, the Financial Freedom Podcast.
But by the way, so just staying on the creating furniture out of football, you may never sell it as a chair, but somebody may buy it for a huge amount as a piece of art.
100%.
So that's what I mean by, and this is where you or people listening to our lovely audience listening to this need some kind of creativity. And then your social magnetism will connect you with people in the art world and in the furniture world. This is not an idea that I'm suggesting people do, but if you make a lot of money from it, please send Al and myself 10%.
Definitely. Well, Ben, do you have any last thoughts regarding this subject?
Becoming financially free.
Yeah.
Please educate yourself on finance. Yeah, please educate yourself and go and write yourself a budget. And if you don't know what a budget is, you know, and I have to tell you in a podcast, then you don't need me to tell you. You can just put in the internet, ask for a budget template, and essentially a budget is matches your expenses and your income. So please learn about that. Please learn about all the accounts that can bring you interest on your savings. And then please learn about different kinds of investing. And when we talk about investing, remember there's a tiny bit of risk. A tiny bit of risk. And so learn about risk.
Absolutely. Well, Ben, it's always a pleasure. And yeah, that's the end of the podcast.
Hey!